Take two.
Yeah. That was rough.
Yeah, I know. 18 minutes of my life I'll never get back.
Do you want to do the intro or me? And you do the outro?
Yeah, we should tell them how we screwed up as well.
Yep. Welcome everyone to, as Josh said,
Welcome
take
back,
two.
everyone.
We just recorded this and not had our mics on. We're pros. All right. So I've actually had a couple of messages from people just asking about the Supra, especially in Australia. Rich, what was the process? How'd you get it? So a really big one for me was I wanted to be able to share that with everyone instead of messaging individuals. So I've actually, not many, I've only had the 4 people ask me. But anyway, here in Australia, it is a little bit of a process. The good news is in America, they actually don't have cars built to order. They just get lots of cars and they try to stock match. Here in Australia, you actually get your car will be put into the Toyota SAP system. And that actually means that it's ordering. It's in the Toyota ordering system, which is really, really cool. So first step is I actually ordered my car with Joshy, my nephew, in September. So I used to be a sales manager at Llewellyn's in the dealership. Joshy is still there. He works in Toyota. I worked in GMSV, got my shirt on. It's actually comfy, so I like wearing it. Yeah, I went over, said, Josh, I want to order a Supra. I did that in September. I've got some notes down to share with you guys the process because it was pretty long. So back in September, I ordered that one. And straight away, I got a batch number. So probably about a day later, I got a batch number. A batch number is a stock number for Toyota. That's the ID of the car in their system. And that's how you know that car is specifically ordered to you. So I had an ID pretty much straight away. And that ID says updates, none. And it stays like that for a long, long time. So before we get into that, Joshy in Toyota, generally, what's the process of just buying a Toyota, any of them?
So essentially, once you've decided on what car, what model, and what color, come in, sign a contract, put down a small deposit, and then patiently wait.
Patiently is the hard one with Toyota at the moment, guys. Some of their cars can take 6 months. Some of them takes 2 years. There's a bit of luck of the draw. Joshy does work at officially the #1 Queensland Toyota dealership. So it is pretty big. They do try to do the right thing over there. So yeah, they do have a big one. They deliver 300 cars a month.
Yeah, roughly. Yeah.
They get a lot of cars. So they are a good dealership to put your order through because you know that they get lots of stock from Toyota. Anyway, with mine, so with the Toyota Supra, ordered that in September. Come December, I had no information still. So nothing, Joshy, and I was checking with Josh every single day. And Josh was checking for me every single day. Thanks, Josh. I had nothing.
Not every day. Most days.
But I had nothing. Now, in January, I got my first update. And that said I had a scheduled production in February. Now, when February hit, it said I had a scheduled production for March. And then I still didn't have anything. Now, what ended up happening was in April, I had a scheduled production for April. It's like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. And then I think it was May or June, Joshy said that it actually had updated my scheduled production date to June. So I missed the April one. Then July hit, and then it said, hold on, you have an April confirmed build. It was built in April. Now, what we realized, because there's not many Supras in Australia, there'd only been about 3 in the history of Llewellyn Toyota of 300 cars a month. So there's hardly anything coming through. They don't know an awful lot of the process and how it all works. What we learned was that all the updates that you get for your Supra are actually about a month after they actually happen. Now, what we realize is because this is built by BMW, the factory over there, must be sending the updates quite late to Toyota before they were able to update it into the system. Because it isn't just the build date that was a month behind. Once it was on the boat, it'd been on the boat for 3 weeks before we got a boat name. So one day there was no boat name. The next day we got a boat name when we checked. So just updated overnight and it said, yeah, it's been on there for 3 weeks, which is good news because it traveled a long way already. Now, once it's on the boat, there's 2 routes it can take for the Supra. The first one, it goes to America, down in New Zealand, then to Brisbane, Melbourne, Perth as the last destination. Mine wasn't that one. Mine went down Europe, down Africa, over to Perth, then to Melbourne, then to Brisbane. So it gets to Perth pretty quickly. In total, it was about 2 months on the boat. I think it was 70 days in total. But it gets to Perth pretty quickly. It only waits for about 2 nights in Perth for a docking spot. And then it takes about 4 nights from Perth to Melbourne. And then mine just circled in Melbourne for 28 days. This boat circled, waiting for a spot. It finally got a spot. It docked in Melbourne. It was there for 1 night and left. That was it. So it waited 28 days for 1 night. It left. It took 3 nights to get to Brisbane. Now, once it got to Brisbane, it waited about 5 days. So it circled out the front of Brisbane, Fisherman's Island for about 5 days, docked, and it was there for 1 night. And then I had my car 2 weeks later. Now, when it docks in Brisbane, or when the dealership gets it, it's actually a bit of a long process as well, because there's a ton of stuff on this car that they need to unlock, isn't there?
Yeah, so essentially it's obviously got to go through its detail and it's all its mechanical checks, but it's actually got to unlock the car essentially as well. So when it's like that, the car doesn't actually work. You can drive it really low kilometers and you can do not much with the car. Can't do anything with the car essentially. So it's docked up to a computer for about 8 hours. Usually that will take over a couple of days because just with scheduling and stuff like that. But yeah, 8 hours is the rough estimate of how long it has to just sit on a computer just to make sure the car works like a car. And in fact, yours isn't even completely done.
No, mine still doesn't have the nav working. So what happens is they got all of it unlocked except the nav. They've been waiting for, it takes about a week or two to get a code from BMW. They get a code, they put it in the system, it unlocks the nav, they put in a new code, it confirms it's in, then it works. Something like that they were saying.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a process just to get a nav unlocked. So yeah, there's a lot there. They don't want anyone mucking around with your car. It is a baby supercar essentially. They want to make sure it arrives in the best condition it can. Speaking of that, one thing I think people don't realize when buying a car is that, so with all these schedules and dates and everything, it's on a system called Toyota SAP. Now, there's a few people at the dealership that can log in and they get these most up-to-date details on each car. Now, when it comes to customers, they don't generally share that information with customers because customers take it literally. I had a scheduled production date of January, then February, then March, and it was constantly wrong. Even when it was built, it was still saying it wasn't built yet. It was a month late. So sharing that with customers, they get cranky. So Joshy has to be pretty careful about understanding his customer, what kind of personality they are before he can share that. Because Josh isn't out the back. He's not sitting there building your car. He's not making it. He's not driving the boat. He's not at the docks driving your car off the docks. He's waiting for it to get there. And once it's there, then he can do something. But until it gets to the dealership, Josh has zero say whatsoever on what happens. So he's just a little peon in the at the end of it.
Just the messenger.
So he just logs into that system and gets that information. Now, if you're pretty cool with your salesperson, like if they think, hey, this guy's pretty switched on, I can be honest and transparent with them, there's a good chance Joshy will probably be able to share a screenshot.
Potentially.
It'll show you VIN numbers. It can show you boat names. It can show you scheduled build productions. The key is Josh needs to be really careful that people are well aware that that information could be wrong as well. So that's the scary part. Some people see that and go, this is Toyota and Josh is working at Toyota. This is what he told me, and the scheduled production date's not true at all. It's almost never true, I think, that scheduled production date.
Sometimes it's pretty good. Sometimes it's actually really accurate. And then sometimes it's months out.
So that's what Josh has got to be careful with. So with me, obviously, I understand. So Josh was checking with it and he was giving me those updates. And it sucks. It feels crap when you go, oh, it's being made in January and it doesn't. In February and it doesn't. In March and it doesn't. It's like crap. But at the end of the day, all Josh is sharing the information he has. The good news is that once it starts getting updates, you want to be in the good books with your sales rep because then he can give you boat names. He can tell you what's going on. He can tell you build dates. He can tell you the VIN number. He can tell you engine number. There's a lot of sort of stuff they'll have access to. So yeah, you want to be able to be in those good books with those guys and get that info. Once it's built, your dealer should be okay to start sharing more information with you. The scary part is waiting for it to be built. That said, though, we don't have control over what Border Patrol customs, that kind of stuff. Quarantine's scary. We don't have control of when the docks open up. We don't have control of a lot of things in the dealership. We just pass on the information that we get. So yeah, be really like, take ETAs with a grain of salt. I think the big thing with the Supra as well is because the information is so wildly inaccurate. It's like, I was telling Josh, it's like there's a big conspiracy and there's all this information randomly put out, and you just got to take little bits of information and put it all together, and then you get your idea, you build a story from that. It's funny that, because I actually stole that from one of the guys on the forums as well. He said that to me and that just made me laugh. It's a conspiracy of your Supra. Whoa. But it really is like that. What else is there to say on that?
I think the biggest tip I can give if you are buying a car is have a chat to your local dealer. Toyota dealerships are actually incentivized to look after you and get your cars faster that way. But
to their local customers?
To their local. So if you're in their prime marketing area, have a chat with just whoever's your closest dealer. And secondly is build a really good relationship with your salesperson. What I find is if someone comes in and becomes really friendly with me and they respect me and they just want to be friends with me, I also want to be friends with them and give them a better experience just because we get along. So it's
natural, man.
It's a bit two ways. It's two ways. Like, yeah.
What Josh is saying, be a good person and he'll be a good person back. But that's just human, right? You should be a good person to anyone. It doesn't matter what you're buying, even if it's a piece of candy. You're always should be friendly with people. But what Josh is trying to say is obviously sometimes you get cranky people come in. Josh isn't going to be sitting there going, oh, I really, really want to look up this cranky guy's stuff, right? Like when it doesn't need to happen. What Josh is saying is if you become good friends with your sales rep, he's not like, call him, ask where it is, and there'll be more of a chance he'll share information with you that he's probably not supposed to share. So, yeah, good idea to just be a good person and hope as well your salesperson's a good person, because obviously there's lots of crap salespeople too. You want to make sure you find a good sales rep, guys, someone that's not trying to just get you in and out of the door because they want their comms. You want to find someone who loves cars, who's there for the cars. A new car comes in, you see them there. Joshy posts new photos on his personal Facebook page of new cars coming through. He's like, Rich, did you see the new CHR? Yeah, he's like, did you see that new interior? And I don't care. But that's what you want to find. You want to find the guy that's passionate about what he does. And there's lots of people out there as well. I think people are pretty switched on to finding good sales reps these days anyway.
Cool.
Any other info?
No, that's pretty much it.
But guys, Joshy is a Toyota accredited person. He still works at the dealership. I don't work at the dealership anymore. I left. I'm still friends with those guys. They're a great bunch out there. That's the Wellens down in Ipswich, Baval. But you can see Joshy's still got his Toyota hat on. He just left work. He's just come straight over here. So yeah, he is a Toyota accredited person. He knows what's going on. If you have any questions for Joshy, shoot us a message. He does read the YouTube comments and stuff. He'll be able to try and help. You can't see other dealerships stock though.
No.
Not here in Australia. It doesn't work like the US. So yeah, but if you have any questions, fire them away. I'll do my best to answer them. If it's Toyota specific, Joshy knows pretty much everything. He's been working at Toyota now for 2 years. So
hopefully that gives you guys a really good insight on how the ordering process of the car works and a little bit more information on how long it takes for the Supra to get here. If you need any help with anything in terms of Toyotas, I'm over at Llewellyn in Ipswich, Bouvau. So just let me know and I'll be able to help you out.
Let them know you found him on a video on YouTube. The guys will give him a little bit of crap. Guys, hopefully, yeah, like Joshy said, gives you some good insight of how it all works. The Supra is a bit of a mystery. Hopefully that clears things up. You've got the comment section there. Please ask us. We'll do our best to help Josh and I. So, all right, guys, enjoy your weekend. Have a good one.
See ya.
Joshy.
Hello.
Getting good at manual.
Yeah, I'm a bit better now. I had a little bit of practice. I can't see what I'm going, so I don't know if I can park in there.